Good morning. And whether you're watching online or here in the sanctuary, welcome to our service, Northwest Barrie United Church. It is an absolutely glorious fall Sunday morning. And it's Outreach Sunday, and now my new personal favorite holiday, International Sloth Day. Stands for a lot of things I believe in. After the service, please join for a time of fellowship and refreshments in Westtennial Hall. Get their early small coffee pot. We're going to begin the service with our gathering song. It's number 145 in More Voices, Draw the Circle Wide. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, greet. Then we'll finish it, but just to verify, check with the screen as we go along. Please take a moment and greet your neighbors.
like to welcome you to Northwest on a beautiful day. Don just pointed out to me the trees down the side here. If you haven't had a chance to look at them before you leave today, take a look down the street. They truly are magnificent. And we're glad you're here. We're glad you're watching from home. As Steve said, this is Outreach Sunday, and believe it or not, in 18 years, this is my first Outreach Sunday I've ever been to, because usually I'm away this week. So I'm glad to be here and glad to share the pulpit this morning as we listen to some of the great work going on in our community. As always, we'd like to begin by saying welcome to those who are visiting with us, or if you're celebrating today, we'd like to know what you're celebrating so we can celebrate right along with you. Anybody have any good news to share? Trinity. Emily's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday. 22? Can I say your age? You're 22. Okay, you're 22. I did it anyway. Paul. I got a girlfriend. You got a girlfriend. Good luck with that. Yes, sir. You're going to Florida. Excellent. Guys are living large back there. Jack?
Yes. Last Friday at 7:15 a.m. in the morning, 83 years ago, I was born on the Chesterfield in the farmhouse of Shanty Bay. First drink I had was a bottle of milk straight from the cow.
Wow. So Jack was born last 83 years ago on the couch in your farmhouse. And anyways, happy birthday, Jack. Yes, hi. 55 years. Well, best of wishes to you both. Just a second, June, I'm going to get right to you, but I just want to say I can actually beat that today, because I'd like to pass along two members of our church, Lyle and Jean Smith, who are at the Waterford, and they're watching this morning, are celebrating 73 years of marriage today. I asked them what their secret was, and they said we're still trying to figure it out. So that's pretty amazing. June.
This past Monday, my great-grandson's third birthday. We celebrated it that day, and on the 15th, my daughter-in-law in the Philippines' birthday.
So you've celebrated two family birthdays this week. Congratulations. That's amazing. And I have one really happy announcement to make. I don't know how many people remember little Katie Hannah from church. She grew up here, and then she and her parents, Dave and Michelle, moved out east. And proud to say that Kate is being married next Saturday in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, to Kyle Burke. And we'd like to, on behalf of the church, I know they're watching this morning, wish them both all the very best. And congratulations, Katie. Oh, announcements. Yeah, we've got a few announcements this morning.
Good morning. I appear to be dressed like a mime today, but I'm actually here to talk about the Christmas market, which is a month away, but will come quickly. We are looking for donations, all the baked preserves, jams, jellies, and all the crafts, knitting, sewing. I have sign-up lists on the board in the hall for you to sign up if you are able to donate something. And we are also looking for volunteers to help out, set up on the Friday and to help on the Saturday. Also, for those of you who have baked goods, they need to come pre-packaged, but we will provide boxes, bows, labels. If you need them, you can just contact me in the office, all right? Thank you very much.
Morning, everybody. Morning. The countdown is on. This Friday, Progressive Euchre, 7 o'clock. West Ferndale Hall. Still have tickets left, $10 at the door, or see me afterwards in West Ferndale Hall, and there's still $10. Second announcement, Saturday, 9 o'clock, it's men's breakfast. I need or require a couple of volunteers. See me afterwards where I'm selling tickets for Progressive Euchre, and we can talk, turkey, negotiate, whatever it takes. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Sharon, and I would like to invite all the children and youth to a Halloween party next Sunday afternoon. It starts at 1:30 to 3:30. We're going to have a bouncy castle and lots of other games, as well as crafts, and definitely lots of treats. So put on your best costume and come on out. If you'd like to come, there's a sign-up list in Westennial Hall, or there's a sign-up link in the newsletter. So I hope to see lots of you there.
Good morning. My name is Barb Seawee, and I am here on behalf of the Christian Education Team. Remembrance Day is coming up, and we have decided to have the Sunday School prepare a display for the large bulletin board that is in the library. The library and Sunday School will be working together on this project over the next few weeks. To complete the display and honor our dedicated service members, we need your help. We are looking for pictures of families or friends who have served or are still serving. Please drop off any pictures to our church library, to either myself or to Cheryl. Over here, she's in the library too. Or to Lori in the Sunday School. We would also like to ask for a description of who is in the photo and any other information you would care to share about them. You can drop them off to one of us by the end of October, and we will return them at the end of November. Thank you so very much.
Going to stay. Good morning. My name is Kathy Drapeau, and my little friend here reminded me this morning that our turkey dinner is only 2 weeks away. Ticket sales are on today and next Sunday, and you can also purchase tickets through the office. $20 for adults, $10 for children, and $50 for a family. Also, we've had lots of volunteers and lots of donations, which we appreciate very much. Cranberries, peas, carrots, potatoes can be dropped off next Sunday. If you can't or will not be here next Sunday, they can also be dropped off during the week, but we need everything here by Thursday, October 31st. And we also need more pies. So if you are able to bake or even buy a pie for us, that would be great. The sign-up sheets are at the outside in the Westennial Hall. Thank you.
Good morning. So I just wanted to tell the children this morning and everyone in church that we're going to be going out to learn our song for next Sunday and do a few activities, and then we're going to be coming in because we have a very special speaker this morning. So we're going to be coming back in together to listen. Just so you all know why we're trooping back in. Thank you.
Wow, what a busy church. It's nice to see so many things going on. Just to pick up on a couple of the announcements for the men's breakfast next week. We do have a guest speaker. It's Tim Davis, and if you know Tim, he's been here for many years. He was an air traffic controller all of his life, so he's going to talk about being an air traffic controller at Pearson Airport. So it's going to be an interesting talk. And also, Sharon mentioned about the Halloween party, which is going to be great. Hopefully you can come out, and grandkids can come out. But I want to encourage you, too, on that Sunday, if you want to dress up and prior to that and come to church in costume, you are welcome to do so. So let's have a little bit of fun. Don't just leave it for the kids. Let's begin our worship service now with our call to worship. We join together in prayer and praise to celebrate the love of the God who welcomes us. We await the touch of God's Spirit, refreshing, renewing, and healing. Come, let us worship God. Our opening hymn is See the Morning. have Avery. So Avery, we are thrilled to have you with us to offer some music this morning.
Thousand generations have fallen down in worship to sing the songs of ages to the Lamb. And all who've gone before us, and all who will believe, will sing the song of ages to the Lamb. 'Cause your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all thorns and dominions and all powers and possessions, your name stands above them all, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. And if you've been forgiven, and if you've been redeemed, sing the song forever to the Lamb. And if you walk in freedom, and if you bear his name, sing the song forever to the Lamb. We'll sing the song forever and amen, and the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, you will always be, holy, holy forever. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever.
Thank you, Avery. That was beautiful. Thank you, Chris. That was beautiful. And thanks, Avery, for always bringing your cheering section. You know how Taylor Swift has Swifties? I'm going to call you all Averys, your cheering section. It's nice to have a few kids here today, and if you'd like to join me up at the front, I'd love to have you come on up. Just have a seat in the front row. So I'm watching Malcolm come up dressed like a sloth, and I just want to say thank you to Malcolm and family for reminding us of this special day, Sloth Day. Who knew? So hopefully you can all take a chance this afternoon to do something sloth-like. So nice to have you here. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Anything that's going on? Good week? Bad week? Indifferent week? Okay, let me ask you a question. Tell me a sign of fall. Yes? Dougie?
The leaves changing color and...
This one, leaves changing color? Perfect. Anybody else? What's the sign of fall? Nancy? Halloween? Yep. Most of the leaves start falling off the trees, and you've got like the biggest tree in Barrie in your property, so I'm sure you've got leaves everywhere. Avery? It gets colder. Excellent. Gets a little bit darker at night, too. Guess what I had yesterday for the first time ever? A pumpkin spice latte. Never tried it before. Didn't love it. Definitely wasn't worth $8 or whatever you pay to drink it. But at least I can strike it off the list that I've done it. So none of you mentioned one of the signs of the season is the geese flying south. And I'm sure you've seen them. If you look up, you see them all the time. Maybe you can put the first slide up there. There they go. It seems like every day when I'm coming here or leaving here, I'm seeing geese flying, so they're on their way. So I've actually done this story before, but I like to do it every few years because you can learn a lot from watching geese fly south. In fact, there's 5 great lessons that you can learn as we watch the geese about life. Hang on, Dougie, we'll see if you can get to the end, okay? So I'm going to tell you, and then see if you can come up with the lesson, and then we'll put it up on the screen, okay? So I just found this out, but when geese are getting ready to fly south, they actually have to prepare themselves. So they eat a little bit more because they're going to be flying further. They also grow different feathers to help them fly. So for a couple of weeks before the geese actually fly, they don't fly at all because they're getting ready for their big journey. Anybody guess what the lesson could be? What's the life lesson from that? Sir?
Always train before you get your goal.
You got it. Always train before, or let's put it up there. It's always good to be prepared. Now, I have to point something out. Sharon usually does our slides, but she was moving this week, moving house, so Chris did it for her, and we love Chris. He's a great guy, but I think those look more like ducks than they do like geese. But good try, Chris, thanks. Okay. Here's the next one. Don't put it up on the screen yet. What shape do they fly in?
They fly in a V.
V, exactly. Now, does anybody, other than you, Doug, just want to give everybody a chance, why do they fly in V? Why do they fly in that shape? Any guesses? It helps them fly further and faster. So when they fly like this, they can fly up to 70% further and faster because when they fly like that, they help to propel each other forward. So a goose that's only flying on its own cannot fly very far, but when they fly in that formation, they go a lot further and faster. So what's the lesson? To fly in a V, that's the lesson. Okay, now you try it.
Always stick together no matter what.
You nailed it. Always work together or stay together. Let's put it up there. We go further when we work together. Did you even think for 1 second that maybe that didn't look like a goose? Okay, ready for the third one? Nobody's even listening to what I'm saying anymore. They're just looking at the ducks. Okay, what sound do geese make when they're flying south? They honk. Why do they honk? Anybody know? Hang on, Doug. We'll see if anybody else knows. Anybody know why they honk? What do you think, Malcolm? To communicate, for sure. So why they honk, the goose at the front is the one that's doing most of the work, right? So they honk to encourage the goose. It's like saying, go, you got this, we're behind you. It's their way of cheering the goose on at the front. So the lesson is, honk, encourage each other. All right. Thank goodness there's only 2 more slides. Okay. Number 4, the goose at the front sometimes gets tired, right? They can't always be leading the pack. And so what they do is once the goose gets tired, he or she goes back in the formation and another goose takes their place at the front. What's the life lesson? Other than Dougie, other than Malcolm, Nancy. Okay, yeah, got your back, absolutely. Any other things that we can learn, Dougie?
Let everyone get a chance to shine.
Okay, everybody get a chance? Let's put it up on the screen. Number 4, ask for help. If you're getting tired with somebody, ask for help and take turns, and you end up going further. Okay, and finally, what happens is every so often a goose gets tired or it gets sick and it can't fly anymore. So it has to fall out of formation and go back down to the ground. Whenever it does, another goose always goes down with the other goose and stays with that goose either until hopefully the goose doesn't die. Sometimes they do, but hopefully until the goose gets better. And then once the goose gets better, both of them will join another group of geese flying south. So what's the lesson in that? Malcolm? The buddy system. I like that, for sure. Anybody else? Dougie?
Stick together no matter what.
Absolutely. Stick together no matter what. Or put it up on there, just take care of each other. And that's a lot of what Outreach Sunday is. That's a lot of what Outreach Sunday is about. It's about how we take care of each other. And we're going to hear a speaker and talk about how one group in our community helps to take care of each other. So those are lessons from the geese. I'm going to let you go with Lori because you've got a little bit of work to do, and then you're going to come on back and join us. And while they're going out, we're going to sing Jesus Bids Us Shine. Let's stand and sing.
The reason I do is because I actually watched the video on class learning strategy.
Chris, thank you for being a good sport. And really, you were just being a good goose by helping Sharon in her time of need. So thank you. Let us continue to worship God as we present and dedicate our morning offering.
I'm doing it too.
by what we believe, but sometimes we also define our faith by how we live our ideals into the world. We thank you for the ministry of this church as we continue to share the message of love, compassion, justice, and understanding in our community and in our world. May you bless these gifts and those who offer them in your name. Amen. I'm now going to let the outreach team take it from here, and I'll enjoy the service along with you. So, Nancy.
This is the outreach part of the service. I'm Nancy Goimer, I'm Chair of Outreach. And before I begin, I'd like my team to stand up, the different members of the team, please. There's Alf Dick, Donna Chandler, Jen Becker-Craig, and Karen Holmes, Marlene Kell, and Lynn. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, Sharon, who's already standing. Thank you very much. This morning, I'm reading the scripture lesson, and the scripture lesson this morning is Matthew 25, verses 31 to 40. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep on his right, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly, I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." Good morning. I'm Donna Chandler, past chair of Outreach. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce three people that are going to be speaking at our service this morning. Charlene is the head of Easter Seals. Her office is here in Barrie, and she has been with Easter Seals 22 years? 22 years, and what drew her to Easter Seals was their mandate, was the fact that they manage their money well. She loves the children. And Charlene and I met, I've got to say 17 years ago, when we both were volunteering for 5 years in the food bank, putting food on the shelves. And it was a time of a lot of fun, but I got to experience Charlene. She is a really good friend, but she is integrous, she is honest, she is hardworking, and she has a big heart. She loves her kids, and she loves the family she serves, and she is totally committed to doing what is right for them. And believe me, be careful, because she might pull you in as a volunteer. Charlene works with 3 people, herself and 2 others in the office. And I don't know how many people you have on as volunteers. You might speak to that. But there are a lot of volunteers she works with all of her programs that are there to support Easter Seals. I had the pleasure of meeting Chloe it was at the Easter Seals breakfast in the spring, wasn't it, Chloe? You're going to love Chloe.
Chloe is not only a sweet young lady, but she's bright, she's articulate, and she is the ambassador for Ontario Easter Seals. This young girl with her mom, Carol, have been traveling all over Ontario, speaking to the needs of Easter Seals and sharing her story. Part of the story that we're going to show you today is Wood Eden. Wood Eden is the Easter Seals camp just south of Perth. And I'm not going to say very much about that because Charlene and Chloe are going to tell stories. But prior to that, you're going to see a 2.5, maybe 2.3 minute video of Wood Eden. And Charlene wanted you to see that video first so you can get a flavor of what they do at Camp Wood Eden, and then we'll open the program after that, okay? So if we could have the video, that would be wonderful.
And there's no one who knows what you're going through. But at Wood Eden, there's a bunch of people that are going through the same thing as you, and it's really awesome.
When you get to go to camp for the first time, you see, oh my gosh, there's other people with the same condition as me. You feel so alone a lot of the time. I think there's a huge isolation element there, and to have that sort of solved really gives me a lot of confidence.
I heard a quote that I don't feel like I'm disabled at camp, but at home I feel disabled. That really means a lot for the people coming. To realize that they're free is a big thing for everyone here.
At camp, they let you be independent. And if they do think you need something, they will ask before they help you.
Learning how to be on my own is definitely a good life skill, because I know it's like a stereotype that we're always going to be with our family, but that's not reality. We are people, so people have to go away sometimes.
Here at camp, though, I feel like I'm included in everything. It's just important to me because I've made so many friends here.
Today I did karate, and that made me really proud. I'm sure back home my parents are missing me right now.
I had a camper come straight over to me in the dining hall one day and just be like, Nicole, guess what? In the pool this morning, I got a pool noodle and I put it underneath me and I walked for the first time ever. I could have cried just hearing the story on the spot.
Easter Seals camp allow those stories to forge in times where they otherwise wouldn't. So it's sort of a memory maker is what I describe it as.
Merry what? Merry what?
Every year, I look forward to it.
It's like a highlight in my year.
Thank you for supporting Easter Seals camp.
Before we wrap up, my name is Gabriel. Thank you so much for interviewing me.
Support these camps. They are absolutely amazing. Give what you can. And for those who've already donated, I wildly thank you for your donation.
So Charlene and Chloe, I'm going to get you to take the mic over here. Pardon me? Oh, would you prefer it here? Okay, well then I'll let you just take over and do it as you see fit, okay? Is Chloe's chair going to be turned? Excellent.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you for having myself and Chloe's mom, Carol. Thank you, Donna, for the very kind intro. I don't really think of myself like that, but thank you very much. I had the honor of coming to work for Easter Seals 22 years ago, and when I came to Barrie, I didn't know very much about Easter Seals whatsoever. I didn't know about the kids, I didn't know about the families, and I didn't understand a lot about what we did. And one of the reasons was I didn't, like a lot of people in this room, I kind of grew up in the generation where when somebody's in a wheelchair, I was told not to look. I was told not to ask questions. And I didn't understand a lot about Easter seals because, probably like a lot of people in this room, my introduction to Easter seals was getting stamps at Easter time, and we put them on cards. And we actually, at one point, were called the Ontario Crippled Children's Society. That was our name. And of course, that's politically uncorrected these days, but that was our name. So we became Easter Seals to be going with the times. One of the things I learned about Easter Seals as I spent time learning about the organization myself was we're 102 years old. 102 years we've been looking after kids with physical disabilities. We have 41 full-time staff members. That includes our CEO, that includes our IT department, our communication department, that includes our service department, our camp leads, and our fundraisers. So supporting Easter Seal kids and their families in Ontario, you're ensuring that the money that you're giving to our kids to go to camp or to get equipment is actually getting to them. So that was very important to me because I need to be able to stand in front of groups of people like I am today and be honest about what we're doing at Easter Seals. And it was great when you had the sermon and the songs that you had today because it talked about circles and it talked about supporting and it talked about being there for each other. And that's what we need to do at Easter Seals, is we are there for our kids and our families, our staff. We don't quit because we're amazing to have kids like Chloe. I've got my own personal story on Chloe. Chloe will smile about it. When I first met Chloe, I'm going to say you were 6, maybe 6, 7, right? 6, and she was down at the Toronto Telethon in Toronto, and she was going to have to go on TV and she was going to have to speak. Well, she was in there getting hair and makeup, and like any young girl, she's sitting there getting hair and makeup. I'm like, Chloe, we have to go. And she doesn't move. I'm like, Chloe, we have to go, right? Like you're on air right now. And she doesn't move. And then I'm like, Chloe, we have to go. So she left, and she kind of stuck her nose up in the air at me. And for a year afterwards, every time I'd say, hey, Chloe, she'd be like this. She was a typical young girl. And what you see in front of you is a typical young, beautiful teenager with makeup on, her hair done, her nails done. Our Easter Seal kids are just like everybody else's kids. The only difference is they need equipment. So kids like Chloe and our other kids, they have hopes and they have dreams. They want to be teachers, they want to be lawyers, they want to be doctors, they want to be anything. Our kids are unstoppable. They just need the opportunity and for people to believe in the fact that they are unstoppable. And one of the places that starts those lessons, and one of the places that starts a child being unstoppable is going to camp. Camp is about independence, it's about freedom, and it's about dignity. And for most of our kids, it's their first time being away from their parents. So I'm going to hold this mic a little bit for Chloe, and she's going to tell you what it's like for her to be at camp and what the experience is for her.
Hi, my name is Chloe, and I am the provincial ambassador for Easter Seals Ontario for 2024. And I have been very involved with Easter Seals since I was, I'd say, in kindergarten. It has been my favorite thing since I found out about it. And the first time I had done something was going to camp. And I did that for the first time, like I said, when I was in kindergarten. And we went to family camp, so my whole my family, like my mom, my dad, and I have a younger brother, and we all went to camp, and it was the best thing ever. I mean, I was in kindergarten, so I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember having the best time, and I continue every year that I go to camp to have the best time. And like I said in the video, I look forward to it every year. It's the best part of my year. And one thing I want to do when I can't go to camp as a camper anymore is to be a counselor at camp, because then I still get to go, and even then I'll get to help kids that are even just like me or different. And there was a story in the video that one of the counselors told, and about a camper in the pool, like being able to walk for the first time in the pool, and that was me. And it was amazing because it was the first time I had ever walked by myself without equipment or anything, and it felt so good. That was like the only thing I did in the pool that like the rest of the year. And it was amazing, and without camp, I wouldn't have been able to discover that because, you know, it's not like there's anywhere else where I'm going to do that, because I wouldn't have even thought to do it in a pool anywhere else. Swimming is definitely something I really enjoy, so definitely something I do a lot at camp, and it's just amazing. And another thing at Wood Eden that I discovered I love was heights, because at Wood Eden they have a rock wall, a ropes course, and my favorite, a giant swing. And those are my favorite things to do when I go to camp. And again, something I never would have discovered if I hadn't gone. So camp has helped me with so many things.
Chloe, for a lot of our Easter Seal kids, their world is very isolated. And if you think back to yourself, how many kids with physical disabilities did you invite to your birthday parties? Or how many kids with physical disabilities have your children invited to birthday parties or away camping for a weekend or to a movie? And Chloe, what's the social like for you at camp?
At camp, it's like almost everyone I meet is my friend. Any of the campers in my cabin, we are automatically friends because, you know, we have a lot more in common than some people realize. Even if we have different disabilities, different ways that we move around, we're still in a way the same. And there's not a lot of people in your everyday life that you see that has a disability, and so being able to meet other people with disabilities when you go to camp, it's like you're all automatically friends. And I'm friends with a lot of people when I go to camp, and I never, like before I gone to camp, I would have never even thought I would have as many friends as I do.
And is it not true that you guys all drive camp people crazy because you all book the same weeks, book the same cabin, so you spend the winter planning which weeks you're going to go to camp?
Yeah, we spend like all year since we get home from camp. We spend the rest of the year planning what week we're going to go, and we're all planning to go together, and yeah.
One of the things that when you see Chloe, and as you can, you see her in a chair, and I'm going to tell you there's a couple things that Chloe also does, and I'm going to let her talk about it too. But I had the opportunity of watching Chloe. She's in a cheerleading group. And when you watch them pick up Chloe in her chair and out of her chair and put her in the air, I said to her mom, is this crazy? Right, but she does this. And she also is on stage, and she is also in a play. So tell us a little bit, Chloe.
Yeah, so I actually have cheer practice after this, and I'm on a special abilities team. So there's a bunch of different people with a bunch of different disabilities, and we're all on a cheer team, and we all get to practice a routine. We get to go to competitions and perform with all the sparkly costumes, and that's definitely one of my favorite parts. Yeah.
I'm going to ask Carol to say a couple words. This one might make me cry, and I apologize in advance. Being an Easter Seal mom, you guys don't get it until you become an Easter Seal mom. Carol's life is 24/7 with Chloe. But also, as it's your job at the church to teach people about the givings and to be kind and to teach the words, Carol has got to teach her daughter how to be independent, how to want things, how to be a person that's going to be a little bit different, but how she's going to be unstoppable. And you know, Chloe, it don't get too much better than your mom. The strength of this woman every single day that I see her just warms my heart. So, Carol?
Thank you. I'm very lucky to be Chloe's mom. She's a wonderful child. Not all the time. She is 13. Absolutely. One of my favorite stories to tell of Chloe is we went to family camp, and then, of course, the next year she wanted to go to camp on her own. She knew that right away. At 6 years old, it's a little bit daunting. I spend all my time with Chloe other than when she's at school. So sending her off to camp, which is 3 hours away roughly from home, is a little bit stressful. But I knew if she was comfortable going, then, you know, she's going to be fine. After family camp, I knew that the Easter Seals group were going to look after her 100%, so I had no worries there. Her first week at camp, she met Asha, who was in the video, and Stella. They call them the Three Musketeers, or Charlie's Angels. We call them Kevin's Angels, actually. Kevin's the president of, or he's the CEO of Easter Seals Ontario. The first year I picked up Chloe from camp when she went on her own. Like I said, it's a 3-hour drive. She cried the entire way home for me to turn around and take her back to camp and drop her off and leave her there. She said she missed me, but camp was way better. And every year she makes it her mission to go to camp as much as possible. And it is a great opportunity for our family. She has a brother. It's important for us to spend some time with him and do things that we can't necessarily do with Chloe because she doesn't like to. Camping. Chloe doesn't love bugs. She'll go to Easter Seals camp because they deal with that. But, you know, I can take my son camping with my husband or go fishing. Chloe's not into those things. So it gives us an opportunity to, you know, bond a little bit together and have a little bit of downtime. So those are some of the things that are really needed to, you know, you've got to fill your own cup first so that you can pass that on to others. So Easter Seals provides that for us, for our whole family. So even though they're helping the kids, they are literally helping the whole families. And Chloe has never turned back with her independence. She really does want to go and do things on her own, and Easter Seals, like in 1 week, gave that to her. So in all the weeks that she's been since, it really does grow her as a person and change her life. So, thank you.
Thanks, Carol. One thing about Easter Seals in our area here, my goal to raise is $1.6 million. And I have 1 person and 2 staff to do that. And because that $1.6 million is not a number that's just pulled out of thin air to say, okay, this is what your area needs to make. Our area needs to make that because of how many kids that we have to go to camp. Average cost of a child to go to camp is $2,500 for 10 days. But that also includes wheelchairs, walkers, ramps, commodes, lifts, everything that our families in this community needs. That's what we do. There's no government funding for kids with physical disabilities. It's up to us or it's up to the families. Families can't really afford that. But going to camp is the magical thing that we can give our Easter Seal kids, as Carol alluded to and Chloe's alluded to. But when you've seen a bit of the video there, what you're not seeing is the amount of counselors that it takes to run an Easter Seal camp, the amount of nurses that we have on. It's almost 1-to-1 with our kids, and all the equipment that we think about we have to have at home, we have to have at camp. We have to have cooks at camp. There's feeding tubes at camps. There's special diets at camp. The grounds have to be level. So there's a whole bunch of things that we need to do just to get our kids to camp. The amount of students that we have come over from different countries, international students. And it was interesting, this year we went to family camp and we had a tour, and I met a young girl from the UK. She was our counselor. And one of our people that were on the tour said to her, "What is the biggest thing that you take away from Easter Seal camp at the end?" and she's in university, and she said, the counselors that I've met here are closer friends to me now than what I have at home. It's just not the kids that learn that. It's the counselors, because we all bond together. And I come out of camp with a better understanding of Easter Seal kids and their families, and I take a better understanding of what I want to be and who I want to be when I get older. Our Easter Seal kids, they're not crying and whining because they don't have everything that they want to have. They're involving what life has to give to them. And one of our favorite quotes at Easter Seal Kids is, our Easter Seal kids are unstoppable. They are truly unstoppable. But they're only unstoppable with the help from the communities and the help from people that let them get unstoppable. So making a donation, helping your outreach program, get one of our kids to camp this year, I can tell you that the minute that you give that donation, you're changing a life. You are creating independence, you're creating freedom, and you're creating dignity. So at the end of a camp day, that's what you're creating. So you are making a difference immediately. And that's what it's like for our kids. And that's why, for me, it's an honor to work for Easter Seals Ontario. I could go work for other places. But for me, to be able to watch kids like Chloe grow up, I've watched her grow. I've watched her become, she was so shy, she wouldn't have spoke to anybody. And now she can hold a room of 800 people with a microphone. Can you just imagine what's ahead for her? Can you just, I see her in Parliament, I see her in school, I see wherever she wants to be. But that happens because of the kind, generous people like yourselves that say, you know what? I'm going to believe in those Easter Seal kids. I'm going to give them the chance, be in the opportunity, because I can. So on behalf of all of our kids and their families in your community, and Chloe and Carolyn, myself, and Donna, thank you for having us. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Thank you for taking the time to getting to know us today and to understand us a little bit more and understand what we're really doing, from that way back when you seen that stamp that went on your Easter Seal card. That's how far we've come. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Just stay here for a minute. I don't know how many years ago it was that Charlene took me down to Wood Eden, but I just want to share a memory that has never left my mind. Chloe, what is that line called that you go up and you drop? The giant swing. He was an older teenager, if I remember, but he was in his wheelchair, and they brought him to this giant swing, and they put him in a big harness, and they pulled him up to the top, and they said, I'm getting the willies all down my body, telling this story. When he got to the top, they said to him, when you're ready, trip the line. So this hand, I'm telling you, my body is, anyway, he tripped the line, and he dropped. And while he dropped, he threw his arms out and yelled, I'm free, I'm finally free, I'm flying. That has never left me. That has never left me. Have you had that experience?
No, but the giant swing is definitely my favorite part of camp.
She just doesn't put out her hand. Anyway, we'll move on. I'm going to invite Nancy, head of chair of outreach, to come up, please.
We have been so honored to have you come today. And Charlene, you're doing a great job running the program. And on behalf of Northwest Barrie, here's a donation to Easter Seals from all of us. And Chloe, I think that you are just a special light for us today and bringing it to you. I got one for your mom for being a super mom. Thank you. I want to thank you both. So let us give us a good round of applause.
Right before Elf speaks, we can have one or two questions. Is there any question you want to ask Chloe or Charlene? Any question at all?
How many kids go to camp each year?
We have Camp Wood Eden and we have Camp Marywood. So we have one just outside of London and one just outside of Perth. So we have sessions. We have 8 and 10 day sessions. So I'm going to say on average, we probably do 900 children over a summer at our camps. Believe it or not, it's gone down a little bit since COVID because just like everybody else, we had to rebuild. And actually, when COVID was going on, we did a spectacular online camping. So our kids got to go to camp every day online. We just kind of switched.
Anyone else?
Chloe mentioned that she wanted to be a counselor when you get older, and I just wondered what the age was to age out, I guess, for being a camp person.
So as a camper, I don't exactly know what the age limit is to go to camp, but I'm pretty sure to be a counselor at camp, the youngest age is, I think, 19.
So we do have a Voyager camp, and Voyager camp is for kids that are 21 and older, and you can be up to 30 years of age, because like our kids, most of them don't have social either. So we do allow our older kids to come back, and they come back and they're doing life skills, more life skills when they're there. They're doing more cooking and banking and everything, because they're now getting ready to go into the real world.
Now, Chloe, her mom, Carol, and Charlene are going to be coming back for coffee, and they're open for any questions. Now, I'm going to turn this over to Elf, who is going to tell you what our next outreach project will be.
We wish to thank Chloe Fraser, her mother Carol, and Charlene Mike for their presentation today about Easter Seals Camp. As you've heard, for a child to attend Camp Wood Eden for a week, the cost is $2,500. And so now, Outreach Committee is pleased to announce a campaign starting today to raise $2,500 to send a child to camp in 2025. We think of these children as champions, and we're going to call the campaign Send a Champ to Camp. And how we're going to do this? We have created a number of paper wheelchairs. They look like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to sell you a miniature version of the wheelchair, and for $20 or whatever you can afford, you'll be invited to put your name or that of a friend on the wheelchair. It'll then be put up on the big poster which will be out in the lobby. And you'll be able to get an income tax receipt for the amount you paid. We'll set up shop in the lobby after today's service, and then before each service until November 17th. You can also buy them during the week from Catherine Delenardo, our church administrator. We hope that you'll support the campaign so that we can send a champ to camp. Thank you.
Thank you for your story. It was inspiring, and you remind us that as good as what we do is here, what's really important is what we do out there. And thank you for coming and sharing and making us all a little bit more aware. And also thank you to our outreach team. You know, I'm extremely proud, as I'm sure you are, of the outreach work that we do at Northwest. We really take our call seriously to be active in the world, in our communities, and to do what we can. So thank you to everybody for your ongoing support of all of our outreach projects. It's great to have a day to celebrate it, and special thanks to our outreach team for doing a fantastic job. I'm going to end the service now with a prayer, and then we'll sing our closing hymn. Let us pray. God, we give you thanks for this day to celebrate the work of our church in all the ways that we practice the values of our faith, in helping to create better lives and stronger communities. We thank you especially today for the work of the Easter Seals. We pray that they will have continued success in their work and their mission, that they will continue to reach those who need to be reached, continue to be a beacon of light and hope. We too are called to be light in the world, a light that isn't hidden but is allowed to shine. Every time we ease suffering, restore health, encourage somebody, love without condition, we are letting those lights shine. May you continue to add your blessing to the work that we do, and may we always put before ourselves the challenge to be the light of hope that will not be dimmed. As we continue in prayer, we take a quiet moment to consider who we are lifting up in prayer today. Maybe this talk has reminded us of those in our circles that need our encouragement and our support, and we pray for them. Maybe today we came to church seeking guidance or healing or restored hope, and so our prayers today are prayers for ourselves. Maybe we want to hold the world in prayer, as we often watch the news and feel helpless, but we can hold those who struggle in our world in sacred space of prayer. So now we take this quiet moment and we offer our prayers to you. God, hear our prayers. Send us back into this beautiful day, into this world today, renewed in our desire and our commitment to be healers, peacekeepers, friends, confidants, and good neighbors, that in all that we do and in all who we are, we may be a light of love and a beacon of justice. Hear now as we continue, as we share together the words of the Lord's Prayer. Thank you for coming to our service today. Thank you to everybody who watched from home. Enjoy the afternoon. Have a nice, slothful afternoon. Our closing hymn is Go Make a Difference. Let's stand and sing together.
You're the salt of the earth.
benediction, I'd like to share with you the words of Reverend John Wesley from back in the 1700s, but they're still perfect for today. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. Amen and amen. Thanks, everyone.